And that is what we must fix as professionals in every sector. Dear ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan today stands at an inflection point. नाजुक मोड़ नहीं बल्कि फैसला कन मोड़. We are living through a moment that will decide not just our present, but the destiny of our next generation. We can either make this fourth Udan that we are currently seeing, our rise, permanent and sustainable, or allow it to crash again like it did 3 times in the past. But let me say this very clearly, this time it is not a choice. We have to rise, and rise with full force, full faith, and full focus. This moment is not about survival anymore. It is about revival, not about recovery, but about renewal. Because Pakistan once again is showing the signs of resilience that have always defined us. The same resilience that rebuilt our democracy, that built our nuclear program despite all the opposition, and that will allow now to rebuild our economy. In the fiscal year 24-25, we achieved historic development spending. For the first time ever in our history, over 1 trillion rupees were spent, which is almost 98% of the public sector development program. It was actually utilized. That means our projects are not just being planned, they are being delivered and implemented. From roads to universities, from hospitals to water projects, from energy projects to industrial estates, work is happening across Pakistan. This is not a PowerPoint Pakistan. This is Project Rising Pakistan. Macroeconomic indicators are stabilizing. Inflation, which was just 2 years ago 38%, is down to a 9-year low of 4.5%. Remittances have crossed $38 billion, a 27% increase, showing the trust of overseas Pakistanis. The Pakistan Stock Exchange has surged 65%, with the index crossing 165,000 points, ranking among the best performing markets in the world. These are not mere eyes in your hands. So I urge you to focus on 3 important priorities for us as a nation. 1, we must lead with exports. Don't just count profits. Create productivity so that we may have global competitiveness. 2, empower our youth, because we are a country with 60% of population less than 30 years of age. Finance innovation, startups, digital ventures, let our young minds shape the new economy. 3, let us put people first. Every rupee must improve a life through jobs, education, and inclusion. Finance should not be just about numbers. Finance should be equally about nation building. Under the government's Udan Pakistan framework, we are driving. How do we transform Pakistan to become a techno economy? Because the new industrial revolution 4.0 and 5.0 is not about to come, it has already happened. And how fast we transform our economy to embed the new technologies will determine our future. So e-Pakistan seeks to create a new modern techno economy. 3, environment and climate change. 4, energy and infrastructure. And 5, equity and empowerment. We have launched in that we adopt AI in every sector of economy and society and governance with fast speed. Under CPEC 2.0, we are aligning our regulatory approvals and processes with one goal: to achieve export competitiveness. Our mission is clear: to create a predictable, facilitative environment where the private sector can thrive and the public sector can enable and support. Pakistan's next growth story has to be export-led, because this is one single failure that has not allowed us to sustain our previous growth trajectories, besides other larger ecosystem issues of not having stability, continuity of policies, and disruptions or reversals of policies. We are moving from consumption to production, from import dependence to export dominance. Our exports will no longer be limited to textiles. We are unlocking pharmaceuticals, agriculture value chains, IT, minerals, and creative industries. Just last year, pharmaceutical exports grew by 35%. With the right support, this sector alone can become a billion-dollar success story. Through digital trade, SEZ connectivity, and modern logistics, we are laying the foundation of an export ecosystem that can power Pakistan toward a $1 trillion economy by 2035. But my friends, policies alone are not enough. We must change our national mindset, and we must adopt what I call the atomic model of success. You must have read this book, which is very popular these days, Atomic Habits. So I would present you the atomic model of success today. When Pakistan built its nuclear program, despite the toughest sanctions and global opposition, we succeeded because we followed some principles and a model. After 28th May 1998, heads of our both nuclear agencies, they visited me in ministry for some work. And I asked them that, how come we have achieved success in this area despite opposition from the rest of the world? And in other areas where everyone wants to help us, we are unable to achieve success. So they gave me very simple answer, which I will share. And I would say that these are the 6 timeless principles of success. And if they are followed in any sector, organization, or in any nation, success is bound to happen. What they said was that they succeeded because, one, they had shared vision and purpose. From the janitor to their top scientist and engineer, everyone was united by one mission: to give Pakistan self-reliance in that area. So they had yaqeen in themselves, they believed in themselves, and they all shared one mission, one purpose, which is the first prerequisite of success. 2, they had stability of leadership. Every chairman served for over 6 years, ensuring continuity and direction. National missions cannot change with governments. They must outlive tenures. And unfortunately,
in our case, political instabilities have always disrupted our udans. 2013 to 2018, we were on a path of udan. From Pakistan, where there was no electricity for 22 hours, 20 hours, we were able to knock out energy crisis. From a country where every second day a suicide bomber used to blow himself, and we were on Newsweek as the most dangerous country in the world, we were able to eliminate terrorism and restore complete peace. From a country where no one wanted to invest, we attracted $25 billion worth of Chinese investment under 2025. But then in 2018, we experimented change, and that change brought us to bankruptcy in 2022. When we took over, the whole world was speculating that how long would it take for Pakistan to become another Sri Lanka. And from that point, we have covered a long journey. So it is extremely important. If you look around, every country that has succeeded, it has ensured stability and continuity of policies for at least a decade. And we must learn this lesson now as a nation. 3, meritocracy. No safarish, no favoritism, only competence and commitment. 4, investment in human resource. It was people, not machines, who made that program a success. And the same is true for our economy, that it is the people who really make the difference. The real capital is not money. The real capital is human capital. 5, provision of resources. The organizations was trusted and resourced. Therefore, we must match ambition with investment. If you give missions and don't give the resources, then ambitions remain in papers only. 6, functional autonomy. The program was given operational freedom, no bureaucratic hurdles, no interference, and institutions thrive when they have trust and space to deliver. So these 6 principles, both Dr. A.Q. Khan and Dr. Ishfaq Ahmed narrated that in their opinion, they followed these 6 principles and they were able to achieve success. And I think these 6 principles of vision, stability, merit, human capital, resources, and autonomy from the atomic model that can guide our economic transformation. If we apply this model across every sector, every industry, Pakistan will not just rise, it will soar. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot afford another lost decade. The 2020s must be the decade of transformation. By 2035, we must become a $1 trillion economy, dynamic, inclusive, and digital. To achieve that, we must combine the ethics of finance, the discipline of planning, and the passion of youth. So let us move from firefighting to future building, from politics to policy, and from individual ambition to collective mission. It is often said that the real success is not in achieving individual excellence. The key to success is in transforming individual excellence into collective competence. How many times we have seen that we have had stars in our hockey and cricket teams, but they have failed to achieve victory. But at times we have had relatively lesser stars in our team, but those teams gel together to give better performance and win matches for us. So it is ultimately transforming your individual excellence into collective competence that brings results. So this is how nations rise. This is how Pakistan will rise. In closing, let me say this from my heart. Pakistan is rising again, not just from crisis, but towards a new identity. We are rebuilding not only our economy, but our confidence. We are renewing not only our systems, but our spirit. Let this conference send one message loud and clear, that Pakistan's rise will be powered by ethical finance, innovation, technology, and shared purpose. Because finance without foresight leads to folly. Intelligence without ethics leads to chaos. And when finance serves people and when numbers serve a nation, then we do not just predict the future, we shape it. So let us embrace the atomic model of excellence and make this fourth Udan permanent, powerful, and irreversible. Together, with unity, merit, and vision, we will build the Pakistan we all dream of, strong, stable, and successful. Pakistan Zindabad. To the questions which were posed to the panel, a little while ago, I think, this new technology is a double-edged thing. Yes, on the one side, it is creating those techno giants, but at the same time, the opportunity lies in the democratization of technology. There was a time when computing was only restricted to mainframes. Then from mainframes, it translated into microcomputers or personal computers. And today it has come into our palms in form of smartphones. So that has revolutionized the whole landscape. So in future also, I think the democratization of technology, while at one end we will see consolidation of these tech giants, but at the same time, there would be empowerment of individuals, empowerment of small tech startups because of this technology. So that will, I think, create great opportunities for future. So we must not shy away from technology, rather embrace it with full speed, because when a change of this magnitude happens, or any change that happens, you can respond it in three ways. Either you respond proactively. Proactive response makes you beneficiary of the change because you anticipate the change, you understand the challenge of the change, and you create capability so that when the change comes, you stand to benefit from the change. The second response is reactive response, that you wait for the change to happen. In that case, you only do damage control. You cannot be the beneficiary of the change. You can only minimize the damage. And the third response is denial. You remain in self-denial. And then in that case, change wipes you off the scene. And this does not happen only to small businesses. It can even happen to dinosaurs like Nokia and BlackBerry. So let us all embrace change proactively, and prepare our profession and our organizations to be the beneficiaries of the new change rather than to be the victims of this change. Pakistan